Yo, this is Stevie. I just thought I'd slide in here before the episode kicks on to tell you about the brand new and improved website, thegiglifepodcast.com. It's all there. You can follow and subscribe. All the episodes are there for you to stream or share. You can rate and review the show. You can get in touch with me via the contact page with any feedback or guest suggestions. Or you can also show your support and give back to the show. thegiglifepodcast.com. See you there. Yo, welcome to the Gig Life Podcast. I am your host, Stevie Taylor. My guest today is powerhouse vocalist Ellie Friendship, a singer with grit, soul, and one hell of a story. From fronting rock bands and tribute shows to nearly 30 years working as a mortician, Ellie's journey is unique as it is inspiring. We dive into her career on stage, her new project Skirts, and the lessons she's learned along the way. This is episode 164, Ellie Friendship. Here we go. All right, I think we're rolling. Ellie Friendship, welcome to the Gig Life Podcast.
Thank you very much for having me, Stevie.
Sweet as. Nice to meet you. I've known about you for quite some time. It probably came to more sort of prominence through the through COVID and through Pete's ISO. We had the ISO chats, ISO gigs, and all that sort of stuff. And I ended up having Pete on the podcast around that. I can't remember if it was in the first lot of COVID or the second. But when he was
I actually remember that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, awesome.
I do. I actually do remember him coming on it. Now that you mention it.
Yeah, and it was good fun. And because he was quite the, as much as you can say, there was a pioneer in COVID, but he was sort of, he was doing good stuff like he always does for local musicians. And I know since then you've played on a bunch of Pete's shows and gigs and. Yeah, I always see you sort of popping up in those environments as well as all the...
Pete's such a beautiful man and just incredible human being, and I feel actually so blessed that he reached out to me during COVID. Sitting at home going insane, it got a bit boring there for a while, but no, it was the start of a beautiful friendship between Pete and I.
Yeah, very good, and lots of gigs later, right?
Yeah, but also everyone else, like the whole musical team that Pete's surrounded by, they're just, every single one of them, they're incredibly amazing, talented people. So it's been an absolute blessing to be part of it.
It's easy to be inspired and to play well and perform well when the boss, so to speak, thinks so highly of you, right? It's such a cool.
Terrifying.
Yeah, I know that too. Yeah, there's that. There's that too, but it can be a really inspiring environment, and I'm sure you're trying to impress, but he's pumping you up as well, which is awesome. Pete's great. He's awesome.
I was just going to say that I think the terrifying part is just feeling like, and in a way, it kind of pushes us to be better because we want to do such a good job because he's taking this chance on us, and it's like, I have to hold myself to the standard that I believe he's seeing me at. Yeah, definitely pushes us to work harder.
Yeah. So what's a day in the life of Ellie Friendship in September 2025?
A lot of social media at the moment. A normal day when I was doing the 9 to 5 would be getting up about 5 o'clock in the morning and driving to work, where I spent my day as a mortician. That's a pretty interesting job. 13-hour days sometimes, coming home, and you do that Monday to Friday and then gig all weekend. So it never stops.
Right. So I did read a little bit about that. It all came about from when your grandfather passed away. Is that right? Did I get that right?
When my grandfather passed away, that was when I kind of, I don't know if it was a sudden realization. I just felt like that was where I had to be, like it was a calling. And I was only 12 years old. But yeah, something inside me back then just went, I need to do this. It was that feeling of seeing him look at peace. And even from such a young age, I don't know, maybe I was extremely mature for my age, but I wanted to help other families feel that.
Interesting. So how long have you been, how long were you a mortician?
I've been doing the mortuary work for the better part of probably close to 30 years, right alongside my music career.
Right. So are you still doing it now?
I only recently stopped this year just to focus more on music.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So, without getting too much into details, like I'm just thinking about, because I'm a tradesman, right?
Yeah.
And I started my apprenticeship, sweeping a floor, cleaning benches, doing this for that person, doing that for that person. So, without getting into too many details,
what did I do?
What did you do? Yeah. What's the progressive ladder in becoming a mortician?
I was very fortunate to start in a small town. Terry Hutchinson from Hutchinson Family Funerals in Taree gave me my start when I was 17. I did try getting into the industry before that. It was very hard because people look at a 17-year-old and go, oh, how are you going to do this job? What life experience do you have? How can you relate to the families that are losing their loved ones? But Terry gave me a go, and sadly, the first deceased person that I really came across working with Terry was a friend from school who had gassed himself in a car. And in a country town, you either know the deceased or you know the family. So whether you're in the mortuary or at the funeral service, you're going to cross paths with people who are going through that grief. It was that moment that I kind of decided if I can't do this with someone I know, there's no way I'm going to be able to work comfortably with strangers. So Terry kind of had me doing the funeral service side of things, where you'd attend the service, place the casket at the front of the church, you'd be in the hearse, all that kind of stuff, preparing coffins. It wasn't until I got to Sydney, when I moved back to Sydney and I started working for larger funeral companies, that I got more involved in the mortuary side of things. And that's where you start preparing the body itself. So you go through the transfer process where they might send you out to either a family home to pick up the deceased, or you go to coroners or a hospital or a nursing home, wherever they are. They're brought back to the funeral home, where you then start the preparation process, which is, washing the body and just making sure they're nice and clean. And then you have the procedures of sewing the mouth closed and putting caps inside the eyes. As horrible as it sounds, the reality is that when people pass away, most of the time, if not all of the time, the eyes eventually sink back. So you have to put a cap over it to kind of give the eyelid shape.
Right.
So yeah, we used to joke that one of my party tricks was sewing someone's mouth shut from the outside in and not leaving a mark.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So, scared a few of my friends.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been involved in all aspects. I've seen many things that people couldn't comprehend, from murders, suicides, children, babies, and, little old Nana who passed away peacefully and asleep.
That's life, man. It's life.
Absolutely. And if there's anything that I've taken from it, it's that life is so short.
Let's get into where the music came onto your radar. So do you have a musical family?
I would say half and half. we're all musical in a sense that we all naturally can sing. Dad, my sister, myself, my younger brother. My mum sounds like a screaming cat. I'm sorry, Mum. I love you, but you're terrible. She used to beat us on SingStar. How, I'll never know. But yeah, we're all kind of self-taught. Dad plays guitar. My brother plays guitar. My sister had a great career in the beginning. She even toured with Phil Emanuel back when she was 18. But yeah, she just lost the passion for it. And as I got older, I kept striving more and more to chase it as a career.
Mm. So who were those first singers for you? Or was there one particular? Some people usually have that one that they've either seen or they've heard or seen a picture of and gone, man, he or she looks cool.
You mean the one that kind of set me on the path for, I want to be like that, I want to have that life?
Yep.
I think for me, it wasn't ever just one person. I just had a passion for entertaining everyone else. I love singing. I spent a lot of my time as just my sister's backup singer, which is quite funny considering, she decided to call it quits and I kept going. I think growing up in the pub and club scene from the age of 14, it was a different kind of music. I didn't really find my passion for rock until maybe 2012. Before that, I was doing, Patsy Cline, Shakin' Stevens, the Eagles, all the really old school, 50s, 60s, 70s stuff. 2012 was when I realised I could sing rock. I got into a Sydney band, started singing AC/DC, and I think I fell in love with Bon Scott. So I think for me at that point, that was a changing point. Bon Scott and AC/DC.
Mm. So was it Taree you said you came from?
So I was born in Windsor.
Yeah, okay.
When I was 12, we moved to a place called Werrell Flat.
Right.
Ever heard of Wingham?
Yes.
Yeah, Wingham.
My wife's family, she has a family line in Wingham.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
So Wingham and Werrell Flat is like way out the other side of Werrell Flat, out in the sticks.
Right, okay. I'm just thinking where that Patsy Cline, Shakin' Stevens kind of, where were you when you were hearing that stuff? Was that in Windsor or?
That was in Wingham.
In Wingham,
Wingham and Taree, yeah, because my sister was already performing back then in a show called Doug and the Damsels, and it was all the 50s, 60s, 70s stuff. So I used to go and watch and dance. I got into rock and roll dancing. So I fell in love with that style of music, and Dad always had that stuff playing in the background on a weekend. And so we knew it. We knew it growing up. It was what we listened to.
So was there any instrument? Were you playing any instruments, guitar, piano, or anything like that? Or was it just purely singing?
I tried guitar, and I got bored really quickly.
Oh, really?
I don't know why. I've dabbled in piano. I've dabbled in guitar. I lose interest really quickly. Like the piano is something I can sit down and look at guitar chords and play one-handed on a piano, but I don't class myself as a musical instrument player.
Right, okay. I gotcha.
I did try guitar though, and it just didn't work out for me.
Yep, fair enough. So you were interested in that early sort of music, following your sister around, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Now, during that scene, were you playing in bands like away from your sister with that kind of music?
Mostly my sister and I paired up. We were doing duos, but back then neither of us could play an instrument, so we were using backing tracks. But we were booked out every weekend, Friday, Saturday nights, everywhere through Wingham and Taree and Foster. We were working every weekend, just playing just the two of us on a little stage with our backing tracks and a room full of rock and roll dancers.
That's really cool. So did that ever sort of expand out or I mean, did you stay together? And if you didn't, what I'm getting to is when did the whole live band thing start to happen for you? With the backing musicians, that kind of thing.
The live band thing, actually, it did start in 2012 when I found my love for rock.
Okay.
I joined a band for 2 weeks, and then we scored a gig as the GWS Giants AFL team house band.
Oh, cool. So was that earlier on in the GWS sort of because
that was back when it was still Skoda Stadium.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Right.
So I joined this band I think I was in it for 2 weeks. They had someone come and look at us play in a garage. And then all of a sudden we were playing centre field at the AFL.
That's awesome. So that's something I've never done, right? So let's dig into that a little bit. So I have played at a stadium, but I've played not in the middle of the field, but sort of behind the goals up. So it's a completely different thing. It's basically like sitting on the back of a truck, and you're only playing to the 5 rows in front of you type sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And every time I see a band sort of centre field, I think about, and this is, and I'm going back before in-ear monitors and that kind of stuff, when you've actually got amps and stuff, that must be tricky to get your head around the acoustics of all that sort of stuff and being able to hear yourself. Oh, sorry, and the other thing would be the echo too, because you're singing, you can hear what's in your head, and then you're hearing something else, towards the back of the stadium with that sort of bounce and that echo.
We didn't have in-ears even for that, which I was surprised by. They had a good sound crew. There wasn't a lot of bounce back. It was really easy to actually hear. I think because the foldbacks were so close to us, we were just able to focus on what was there. We didn't get a lot of kickback, but we worked really hard at that stadium. We used to help them push our stage out. So I was in stilettos at the side of the stage, wheeling the stage into the middle of the stadium.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Trying not to lose my feet in the dirt.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. All right, so from the stadium gigs then, where did things go from there?
So after the stadium gig, I played in that band for, years. It was around 2015. We changed the name of the band to Ali and the Cats, which I thought was so corny. For some reason it stuck.
Did you not have a say in that, or?
Oh, I did. Everyone kept coming up with these terrible names, so I threw a few out there, and that one stuck, unfortunately. It was one of those things that you say in jest, and then everyone runs with it. So Ali and the Cats, that stuck for a while. We played so many gigs, bikers functions, backyard parties, RSLs, pubs. And then shortly after that was when I was approached by Black Label. Steve Mulry was the lead singer of that band. They were doing originals. I think they had been for many, many years. Steve was leaving at that time, and the guys had heard me sing, and Laurie and Geordie approached me and said, "Hey, we're looking for a new singer. How do you feel about joining us?" So then I ended up in Black Label for a couple of years.
So what's the difference in the music there?
With Ali and the Cats, it was your typical pub rock stuff. So, we were singing Choir Boys and Beatles and AC/DC. I also had an AC/DC show with the Ali and the Cats guys. I think that was called Sexy DC. Stupid name as well.
That's terrible. Sorry, that's shit.
And the reason for that was because at the time I was doing pole dancing as a fitness.
Okay.
And the boys thought it would be a wonderful idea to have me front an AC/DC tribute and put the pole in the show. And we did. And it worked really, really well for a long time. Even Black Label tried the pole for a while because they thought it was a great idea. And it was when someone came up to me and said, "Oh, you're that pole dancer." I went, oh gosh, the pole's got to go. I don't want to be known as the pole dancer.
Oh, no.
And then said, let me clarify, I was fully clothed.
Yeah, no, I got you.
But yeah, so from just playing your typical pub rock stuff and going into Black Label, where they were predominantly heavy blues-based hard rock, it was a little different, a lot heavier, and a lot higher than what I was doing. And I struggled. I think the first few shows I struggled because people weren't used to seeing a female in that band. And a lot of people, I think, back then had their noses out of joint about Steve not being there, which is understandable. Steve's amazing. And I was feeling the pressure. And it was Laurie Marlowe who said to me, just stop thinking about it. You're overthinking it. There's a reason we're bringing you in. It's because you're a female. It's because you're going to do things differently. So just get out there and be you. Do what you do. And when I relaxed into it, it was nice because over time, a few of the hardcore Black Label fans said that they couldn't imagine the band without a female singer after that.
Yeah, that's cool. So that pressure. So what was that doing to you? Was it affecting the way that you were performing or singing? Or?
Yeah, it was. I think I honestly sang the first 2 shows flat because it was so loud. The boys were so loud. There was so much pressure on me, and I didn't feel like myself. So I was overthinking everything.
All right. So how long were you in Black Label?
I think a couple of years I did Black Label for.
Yep. So from Black Label? From
Black Label, I did a stint with a group called Oz Icons. And through the Oz Icons group, I played in their other shows, which was totally Aussie 80s. I did some backing for the Boys Light Up show. And we also had a Meatloaf show, which was a lot of fun. And, coming out of that straight into COVID. And then I ended up, I think the bands kind of dispersed through COVID. And that was when Peter Northcote called me and said, "Hey, do you want to come on the ISO gigs?" And then after that, the Ali Friendship Band was born, and then I started playing in all of Pete's shows. And, here we are.
That's cool. I want to go back to Meatloaf. I love Meatloaf. So the first concert I saw when I moved to Australia, so I moved to Australia in 1994. I think it was 1995 he came out here.
Yep.
And he had his daughter was in the band.
Yeah.
Who she's actually married to guitarist from Anthrax, Scott Ian. And that was the first concert I ever saw at the entertainment centre, the old entertainment centre.
Yeah, wow.
Yep. And then towards the end of the show, this big blow-up bat, the Bat Out of Hell came out from the back behind. It was so cool. Yeah. But when growing up, my brother was a big Meatloaf fan. And we had the Bat Out of Hell album and like the record, the LP. And I just wanted to say that. I just wanted to say that I like Meatloaf.
Meatloaf is amazing. And you know what? After COVID, when Meatloaf passed away, we got approached to, well, actually I had an agent come to me and say, "Hey, Ali, can you do a Meatloaf show?" And I said, "Well, funnily enough, I've done one in the past. Maybe I can throw something back together for you." So we restarted it a few years ago. And then our lead singer left, so it had to die again. And it's such a shame because they're not easy songs to learn.
They're rock anthems, man. So it's like a rock opera. I mean, Bat Out of Hell is almost like a rock opera, right? That whole album.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, a rock opera, and so much hard work goes into it. And of course, we had a bit of a comical side to it as well, which was awesome. Made it fun. I think I get that from my uncle. I've got an uncle who was a stand-up comedian in a duo called Thomas and More back in the day.
Right, very cool.
Very funny man.
Let's talk about or some of those shows then that you've got kicking around now? So you've had the Australian Shania Twain show for, well, you tell me exactly how long, but it's from what I've sort of seen or remember, that's been a couple of years.
Yeah, since that actually started being put together in 2020, I believe.
Okay, right.
I was approached to do that just before COVID and then again during. Some guys from Newcastle actually put all of that together. They did a production called The Canadian Connection. So it was Shania Twain and Bryan Adams. I invested so much money into the costumes back then, and it was a one-off show.
Right.
And I basically replicated her 2014 Vegas costumes, or some of them. And when I was listening to the songs and I heard a bit about the band that was going to be playing, I just went, there's no way we're going to pull this off with only a few members on stage. You see her Vegas concert, she's got 20 musicians running around. So that was when I approached the people who were putting it together, and I just said, look, would you be open to the idea of having some more members come on board? Because I think we're going to have to not only use tracks, but put a lot more people on the stage. And from there, it turned into, I think, an 8-piece band from what was only going to be 4 or 5. And we still ended up using tracks. So after that show, I actually said to them, are you guys going to do anything with the show after this? And they said, no, we're not. And I said, well, do you mind if I take it and register it and do something with it? And they said, go for it. So 2020, that started. We started putting that together.
That was this pre-COVID or during COVID?
During COVID, yeah. The preparation started during COVID.
All right. So how do you change the way, well, maybe you don't, but how do you adapt your voice from doing a Meatloaf show, doing Black Label, singing AC/DC covers, and then jumping on stage and singing, Still the One, right?
I think the one thing I pride myself on is not changing who I am on stage to suit what I'm doing. I adapt, but it's still me. Like, even though it's a tribute show, the one thing I will never do is get on stage and go, I'm Shania Twain.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah, like I've never, and I make jokes about it during the show.
Okay.
When I come out halfway through, I think I start talking to them and I say, got a secret, guys. I just thought I'd let you know I'm not Shania. Sorry to let you down.
Right.
And they laugh.
Yeah.
It's corny, but they laugh because it gives me the freedom to not play a role. I don't then have to pretend to be somebody that I'm not.
Yep.
Instead, we're paying tribute to her music, and it just seems to go a lot better for us. So I don't necessarily change my vocal style. I still sing like me. Yeah, it comes out how it comes out.
Yeah, that's cool. So how much of her repertoire are you covering?
A lot of her popular stuff.
Okay, so not so much Woman and Me type?
No, it's more the Come On Over stuff. So, your typical, if you're not in it for love, that don't impress me much. I think the only new song we do is Giddy Up. Everything else is all the first 2 albums, I think. So we even do Whose Bed Have Your Boots Been Under?
Yep. That album, I spent so many hours playing drums to those first 2 albums.
Yeah.
Because she's got some wonderful drummers. And this is before, because I think Come On Over, they ended up doing a couple of versions of that album, didn't they? There was the original came out and it had the original musicians, the original drummers, and then the re-release, I'll call it. I won't call it remix, but in saying that, there's some songs on there that were remixed. It sounds like live drums are taken out and samples are put in, and obviously they're shooting for a more sort of popular audience, and Yeah, and I think they did quite a few different styles of those songs, because there's a few of those songs that have a country version. Yep.
And then a country pop version. Yeah.
Well, see, I was embedded into the country versions, because that's the stuff I was learning how to play drums. And then when I'd hear a different version of it, I'm like, that's not Paul Leem. He was the drummer. That's not Paul Leem on drums. Come on, this song sucks now, But I get it. I totally get it. But just as as a drummer, that was a bit disappointing for personally for me.
I can understand how it would be.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so the Alley Friendship Band. Now, that's okay. Well, you tell me what the Alley Friendship Band is.
The Alley Friendship Band is basically me with some of Sydney's top musicians. The bonus of calling it the Alley Friendship Band means that I can rotate musos because sometimes people aren't available. We're all hard workers and we all take what we can get. And you can't always, get your favourite guitarist to come in and play for you. So, we basically, your pubs and clubs, playing all 70s, 80s, 90s rock, some pop. We try and throw some modern stuff in there as well so we can change it up and do corporates as well. So it's your typical party rock band.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And
that allows you to just, take your pubs and club gigs, without having to worry about, having will this show fit into that venue, right?
Yeah, correct. And, between the lot of us, we know that many songs that we can change it up if we have to on the night, depending on the crowd. But it also gives us the freedom, like I said, to tailor a set list for a corporate event.
So you've got a new show coming out.
I do. We're very excited about this one.
So tell us about that. And it's called Skirts, and it's a tribute to
Skirts.
Yep, and it's a tribute to women of pop rock.
Correct.
All right. So the floor is yours. Introduce it.
So it's the ultimate girls' night out. That's what we're calling it. The Skirt Show is the ultimate girls' night out. It's the type of show where men and women, but we know this is going to call to all the women, can go and relive those years back in the 80s when they were out dancing and crimping their hair and wearing neon or denim or leather and just having an absolute amazing time. That's what we've created with this. It's a show where people are just going to have an awesome night. It's very colourful. We're doing some spots in the background where we're filming some stuff to play throughout the show as well. So there's a few laughs going on and it's going to be a lot of fun. And it's finally a show where I get to feature my rock vocals. So I love the Shania show, don't get me wrong. I love it. But this show is really my baby now. It's Heart, it's Joan Jett, it's Susie Quattro, Kim Wilde, it's Cyndi Lauper, The Vinyls. There's so many amazing women featured in this show.
Pat Benatar
is in there.
Right. Awesome. Awesome. So when are we going to see this?
We are looking at as early as possible next year. We would like to have done it this year, but looking now so close to Christmas, I don't want to go near December.
Yeah, no.
It's December and January.
Yeah.
It's that time of year where everyone's broke.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
that's right.
And it's so hard doing ticketed shows. That is one thing I will say. It is so hard doing ticketed shows these days, but we're going to give it another crack. We are certain this show is going to sell, and we want to give people that freedom by not sticking it in those 2-3 months of the year where everyone's struggling to pay for anything. So as soon as we can next year, probably March or April, hopefully soon we'll be announcing that first show.
Awesome.
And fingers crossed we get butts and seats. And I will say this, there will 100% be a dance floor.
Awesome. Fantastic.
That is one of my stipulations with this show was I did not want seats all the way up to the front of the stage.
Yep.
I said we've got to have a dance floor because we want everyone to have an amazing night.
So the musicians for that show, are you talked earlier about the Alley Friendship Band. It's set up where you can sort of rotate players in and out.
Yes.
I'm assuming that, this show you'll have your band. Right.
Yeah, this show will not be on rotation as far as musicians go. If they can't work, we probably won't book it. the type of show, we're really priding ourselves on this. We've not used a single track to create the sounds in this. Between the keys and the percussionist, the guys have done a fantastic job of creating all the little sounds that we need to fill it out. So this show is obviously myself on lead vocals. I have my partner, Tim Herbig, on bass. The fabulous Mr. Raymond Scheck is playing guitar. I've got Bennett Livingston on drums, Borch Todorovsky on keys, and Adrian Herbert on percussion. And then I've got my two amazing backing vocalists, Marie Butler and Karina Harua, who are part of the Shania show as well. The girls were also alongside me in the Meatloaf show.
Man, what a band. That's awesome. That's exciting. So, I'm excited for you. That's really cool.
Yeah, they're amazing musicians, and what they've helped me create will never be forgotten. You know, it's part of the reason I started creating these shows was to take care of the musos. I think I got tired growing up in the industry watching incredible musicians not get paid what they're worth. Yeah. even in that little breath right there, I know you know what I'm talking about.
Is that obvious?
Yeah. Well, it's hard, and there's so many fantastic musicians that just don't get paid what they're worth, and I really got over seeing that. So together with the guys, and like I said, I take care of them as best I can. I make sure they're looked after with these shows financially. I make sure that they're fed at shows. I try and get them as much as I possibly can without leaving myself broke.
Of course, of course.
Because bottom line, without them, I don't have a show.
Yep.
I really don't, and they're amazing. And, you know, it's not just the guys. Even Cherie Abdi, who's created the screens for us, and Jenny Robinson running the merch stands. It's not just the band. It's all the other people that do the little things on the outside that make this what it is. So they'll all be a part of it. Cherie will be there. Jenny will be there doing merch, plus the band. So it's a big crew.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. So what sort of venues are you looking at?
For this particular show, we're looking at larger venues. So we'll probably be looking at, 400 plus cap.
Yep.
Yeah. And praying to God that we fill it.
Yeah.
That's all we can do, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. So recently you were on The Voice, season 14 of The Voice, and you were
correct.
You were on Team Richard Marks.
Yep.
Now, I'm curious as to what was one of the biggest takeaways you took from that show.
The biggest takeaway that I took from that show is honestly probably don't lose yourself for the sake of other people. Honestly, I think these kinds of shows can be so soul destroying. If I'm being honest, when I watched my blind audition, I personally hated what I saw. Sitting down watching the TV and seeing that blind audition, I actually I hated it. It just didn't feel like I was watching me perform. And coming out of that experience, it actually kind of knocked me about mentally for a while. I didn't feel like myself on stage anymore. I was having a lot of self-doubt, questioning my abilities as a singer. And in turn, I felt like every note that was coming out of my mouth was just not right.
It's going back to that, how you were talking earlier about when you first joined Black Label and you felt that pressure and you started singing flat.
Yeah.
Bit of that again, eh?
100%. And you know what? The Black Label thing, that was the last time I ever felt like that until this experience with The Voice. I'm not the kind of person that lets stuff get to me because I generally don't really care what people think. And, you see your blind audition and it goes on social media and people say shitty things. I know I wasn't the only one. There was other people that were getting some terrible comments. You know, people were saying things personally to me like, karaoke singer, yeah, nah. And then, of course, there was the snide comments about me coming out being a mortician as well, and talking about that. And you just, that kind of stuff, believe it or not, that did not bother me. People can say what they like. I don't care. But watching myself perform and feeling so shit within my own performance, that just, mentally really gave me a hard time. So I guess I feel bad for some of these younger kids coming off this show because, you know, I'm a professional musician. I've been doing this for nearly 30 years. How did they deal with it? I mean, I'm good now. It took me getting sick over the last couple of weeks and having 2 corporate functions during that time that I was sick to go, all right, this is the universe kicking me in the ass. Honestly, it's like the universe is going, if you thought you were shit then, now you're sick. Good luck, girl. Go and sing. So I kind of had to pick myself up and do what I do best. You know, I sang the Meatloaf show back in the day. I had laryngitis. I couldn't talk, but I sang that entire show like there was nothing wrong. That's the me I am on stage. I don't have that self-doubt. And the 2 times in my life that I have was with Black Label in the beginning and, you know, seeing that blind audition on The Voice. And I'm quite happy to say I don't feel that way anymore.
That's fantastic. Well, that's great.
Took me a few weeks to get over it, but I'm over it now.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And will you keep watching the show?
Yeah, I think I'll keep watching just to see how, you know, the friends that I made on it are doing. Especially Rose, because I love Rose. She's one of my friends, and I wish her all the best. And I know she wanted the same for me, and we really didn't care how it all played out. We just wanted one of us standing there. We were happy for each other regardless. So I'm super proud of her, and I'm so happy for her.
No, fantastic. That's cool. That's really cool how you pulled yourself out of it and just kicked yourself in the arse and got back to it.
Well, when you've been a mortician for the better part of nearly 30 years, I mean, is my life really that bad?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
So I've seen plenty of people who have it worse.
I was going to say, there's some perspective right there. Bloody hell. So just on the, okay, I mean, you kind of mentioned it when you were talking about The Voice, how when it sort of came out that you're a mortician and people started commenting on it, right? So in your when you first started doing it, what was it a comfortable thing to talk about? And were the people around you sort of progressive enough maybe to be able to talk
on The Voice?
No, off The Voice. No, I'm talking about off The Voice. Yeah, like
when you talking about it off?
Yeah, when you first started, you know, doing the mortician stuff.
People are always shocked.
Shocked, right. Not curious?
Curious and shocked.
Right,
because
okay.
A lot of the comments I got growing up were, you don't, without sounding conceited,
yep.
A lot of the comments I got growing up was that, you know, when people go, oh, what do you do for a living? And you say, I work with dead people. The response was always, I didn't expect someone who looks like you to come out and say that that's what you did.
Oh, right.
You know, they always expected me to say that I worked in fashion or I did something really girly, and they never expected that. And then talking about it more, I guess the curiosity is why? Why did I, you know, choose that as a career? And the short answer is because, and again, you know, this kind of came out wrong on The Voice as well, but I grew up knowing that I had a connection to spirits. What I didn't say on the show, because I didn't want to blatantly say it, but I am psychic medium. And I have known that since I was a young kid, which is why I've always felt comfortable around the dead. So for me, I'm what's classed as a spontaneous reader.
Okay, what does that mean?
So it doesn't just, I can't just switch it on and off at the drop of a hat. They come to me when they need to get something through. A dear friend of mine, for example, I was at a gig and she was having a deep conversation with me, but I was overwhelmed with a really gut sickening feeling, which to me I relate as a chemo symptom. So if there's a spirit around me who's passed from cancer, I usually get a very sick feeling in my stomach. And then in my head, I kept seeing pajamas. I know it sounds weird and it's super hard to explain. It's almost like seeing an old school movie screen in your head. And it plays over and over and over. And I had to stop her and I actually said to her, Christine, what the hell is with the white and blue striped pajamas? And her face dropped. She went white. She started crying. And that's that moment where you go, oh, crap, should I have not said anything? That's where you freak out because you never know whether you should tell people that this is what you can do or not. She actually said to me, my father was wearing those when he passed away. So that was the relation to her. He was letting me know he was there through the chemo symptoms, and he was showing me the pajamas, which is where I could then say to her, what's the deal? I'm getting the pajamas, and she picked up on it straight away. She said that's what he was wearing when he passed away. And through that, the message for her was that he was watching over her, that he was there, he was supporting her, he was proud of her, and he was always with her. And she said to me, and to this day, every time she sees me, she thanks me for that message because that gave her peace, knowing that he was okay and that he was still there with her.
So, for all the gigs that you've ever done, right, have you ever had, I don't know, what's the word for it? While you're performing, can it happen to you while you're performing? When I say can it happen to you, I'm lack of a better word. You know what I'm trying to say, right?
Do I get messages when I'm on stage?
Yes.
It has happened, but most psychic mediums develop a skill for blocking.
Okay.
You can not so much shut it off, but you can kind of ignore it or block it out. Mostly for me, it's off stage. And again, like I said, it's spontaneous for me. It's not all the time. It can be very random and at the weirdest moments and for no reason. But yeah, I think the worst thing for me is that they show me how they passed.
Okay.
And that can be a horrible experience at the time. You never know what you're going to get, what they're going to show you. I mean, I have friends that are psychic mediums that have been doing it since childhood that are far more experienced than me and are amazing women. It's definitely a gift.
Fascinating. Very interesting. And it's just interesting how you said, like, you feel sort of shocked of how those people pass, because I guess going back to the mortician thing, you're seeing them after the fact. Worst case scenario, after the fact.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are you when you're preparing a body or something like that? I guess are you thinking about how? And
most of the time, it's it's a blank slate. You know that it's someone's loved one. You treat them like they're someone's loved one, but the reality of it is that the spirit's not there anymore.
Okay, right.
That's what I believe. Obviously, everyone has different opinions, and it's a touchy subject, and that's what I believe. I believe the spirit is no longer there. There are some houses that you go into to pick up a deceased from the house, and you can tell. I know straight away if there's a spirit still there present in the house.
Right.
Mostly because I get overwhelmed with a sensation of spinning. It's like being hit with an invisible force, and you're standing perfectly still, but you feel like you're kind of swaying in a circle. And it's almost like they're trying to let you know that they're there.
Yeah, that's fascinating. It really is. You got me thinking now. That's really cool.
Don't worry, I can't see anyone in the background.
Oh, no. That's really cool. Very good. All right, so what's the rest? I know we talked about skirts and how you're starting to build that show, and I'm sure you're in rehearsals and planning and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
What's the rest of this year got happening for you?
The rest of this year, we're going to work our butts off getting the skirt show ready to put on stage next year. Tim and I are starting to work on doing some duo stuff together.
Yeah, cool.
Tim's becoming very focused on his music as well, which is awesome, and it's amazing that we get to share that as a couple. Sometimes we want to kill each other. So that's what happens, we live together, we work together. But, he's my best friend. We're each other's best friend, and we love it. It's amazing. So we'll focus on the duo. And, just working nonstop, trying to get as many gigs as possible and live life, because that's important. It's short, as we discussed.
Yes, that's right.
So no regrets.
Yeah.
And just make the most of it.
That's awesome. Very good. All right, Ali, it's been awesome. We're really, really looking forward to chatting with you, and this conversation's gone places I wasn't thinking it might go, but I've loved it. I really have.
Thank you.
It's been fantastic, and wish you all the best. And when that show comes out, skirts come out. Yeah, it's one that I'm very keen to see, and
beautiful.
Yeah, happy to push it from this side.
Well, you have to let us know. We'll get you in.
Oh, cool. No, I'm going to pay. No.
No, free ticket for Stevie.
No. You told me all the people you got to pay. No, happy to pay. All right, Ali, look after yourself. Talk to you soon.
Thank you so much. You too.
Yep, sweet as. Hey, you're still here. I hope you enjoyed that episode. Before you go, I need your help to make the podcast better. I'm running a listener survey to get your feedback, because without you listening, there's no show. If you have a couple of minutes, please head to thegiglifepodcast.com/survey. Thank you, and I'll catch you soon.